In my last episode, I talked about the difference of executive coaching service and executive search approach. To executive candidates, both can attract different jobs, but the coaching service actually attracts much better jobs for reasons I explained in my last episode. And this episode, I'm gonna share my method. And my coaching is very different from all the other coaches. There's ICF coaching, there are other accreditations, other certificates of coaching, but my approach is entirely my own. And why such coaching is so successful on my client is because all of my clients are really open to new learning. Like, you have to be the kind of executive that believe in another professional's expertise. Because if you use your own past experience, especially unpleasant experience, to project your fears, your assumptions, then you will not get the result out of this. And all of my clients were able to attract much higher level jobs because they believed in me. So they were able to be open to new learnings from people like me because they trusted my expertise. And so when I proposed executive career coaching, and they knew that I can provide great value to them. But it can be really hard for the kind of people who believe that they need an exact answer, the exact result. They think, oh, I paid for coaching, so I must get introduced to a better job. No, absolutely not. Because if I introduce you a job, it's a recruiter kind of approach. But as a coach to this candidate, I will not introduce any new opportunities, because after my coaching, the opportunities will go to them directly without me being the intermediary. But I understand their confusion, because when I first get in contact with coaching service almost 10 years ago, I had the exact feeling. I remember I got connected with a really famous career coach, and he agreed to coach me because I told him about my career troubles, and I seemed to have these failures in my career, and I want to change the situation. And he said, okay, I can coach you, but you must come to every session. And in each of the sessions, you can buy me a coffee. But I failed to come to the next session because during the first session, he didn't answer my question, but instead he used questions to answer my questions. So I was like, okay, so what do you think is the problem in my career? Like, what's the best career that's suitable to me, to my potential? And he asked me instead, what do you think is the best job for you? Something like that. And I was quite unfamiliar with coaching. I'm still in a kind of student mindset. Oh, the teacher must have the right answer for me. Like, I will only have to listen to this teacher. And without the ability to reflect upon myself and ask myself those questions in order to get an answer. So during my early days of my career, I wasn't coachable. And after that first session, I decided that, okay, coaching was not for me. But a few years later, at another occasion, I was able to finally get the value of coaching. And it was at a professional event. And I was living in this great hotel that has swimming pools, but I was a very bad swimmer because for over 30 years, I've been to many swimming classes, but I was unable to learn the tricks. Whenever I started to swim, I couldn't swim for a longer term. effortlessly, like all the other good swimmers. But that day, I saw another person. He's a very good swimmer, so I decided to try my luck and think, maybe he can tell me the trick of good swimming so I can learn. So I told him my situation, and he said, all right, why don't you try to swim a bit and let me observe the real issue here. Then he gave me his insight. He told me that it's not that I don't know how to swim well. It's that I tend to swim too fast. And he asked me to simply slow down. I decided to follow his advice, and I tried to swim slower. But then the coach told me, no, you have to go much slower than that. And I really doubted that advice because I thought, if I swim too slow, how can I still float on the water? But again, I held my doubt and decided to follow the advice again and again. And finally, at a point, I suddenly felt I was able to swim effortlessly. And before, I was super tense and tired with every move. Now I felt like a fish. So this is the defining moment. Ever since that day, I have mastered swimming forever. I no longer fear of swimming ever again. And I have been able to swim effortlessly ever after. So this is the kind of moment that I realized what coaching is. Coaching is like giving you advice, but they also need you to act on your own. It's not like teaching, like a teacher tells you some kind of knowledge and without you doing anything on your part. No, it's not like that. So that's why coaching is so effective, because they guide you towards the end result. And that's why many CEOs hire executive coaches, because they knew that the value of these coaching is immeasurable. And that is exactly how I helped my clients attract multiple level higher jobs. And many of them went from being on the firing list to attract, much better jobs in just about a couple of months. And some even took only a couple of weeks to see the result. And I'm super happy that I am able to utilize my 20 years of experience and observations on the careers of high-level CEOs and to be able to help them. So I advise all of you who listen to this episode to try coaching. Have an open mind. And I even tried career coaching multiple times during my career seeking process. And my advice is, unless you keep an open mind and try to sense the inspiration from the coaches, you won't be able to learn anything out of this. You have to be patient. You have to be curious. You have to have a learner's mind. And you have to believe that you can learn things new from anyone. And you can't be judgmental and biased, think, I supposed to know all of the tricks you're supposed to teach me. It's not like this, because everyone is a teacher. But of course, not all of them have a 100% success rate. But if you really lowering your ego to learn, you can always learn something new.